Today in Portland, intense budget talks are putting climate funds and public safety dollars in the spotlight, plus new friction over the city's police oversight board and fresh primary results shaking up expectations. Hi, I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett.
Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, reporting from Portland, Oregon. Let's open the book on this. First up, Portland councilor accused of influencing police oversight board amidst union outcry. Here's what's going on. Councilor Samir Kanal, a Portland City Council member known for his background in police accountability, attended a March 11th meeting of the Community Board for Police Accountability, or CBPA. The CBPA is the Civilian Oversight Board voters approved in 2020, designed to operate independently of police influence, meaning it should make decisions without pressure from city leaders or police. At that meeting, Kanal presented after being invited, and he offered logistical help, like meeting support and possible administrative assistance. The Portland Police Association, or PPA, which is the police officers' union, says that crossed a line. The PPA's president, Aaron Schmaltz, sent a memo on March 19th alleging Kanal's actions could violate the city charter, basically the city's rulebook, like a local constitution. The claim is that councilors aren't supposed to sway the CBPA's independent judgment. City leaders met with Schmaltz on April 15th to discuss it, and the city is now evaluating the complaint. The PPA has also requested records of communications tied to Kanal's involvement with the CBPA. Some quick context. The CBPA only held its first meeting this February and hasn't started hearing cases yet. It grew out of Measure 26-217, which voters passed in 2020, to set up a civilian-led oversight system with more independence from police. The PPA has challenged aspects of this system since day one, so this is part of a longer-running clash over how oversight should work in Portland.
All right, let's set the stage. I'm skeptical that what Kanal did amounts to heavy-handed interference. He was invited, offered logistical support, and we're still talking about a board that's just getting off the ground. The PPA has, consistently opposed this oversight system since voters approved it, so it's not wild to think there's some political maneuvering here. To me, this feels like a fight about where the boundaries are, more than a smoking gun moment. Here's a thought I've been turning over. If the rule is don't influence the CBPA's decisions, does offering meeting logistics count as influence? Or is that just office help? Where do we draw that line? All right, switching gears. Next up, tense budget talks in Portland, with climate funds, police oversight, and jobs at stake. The city's trying to close a roughly $160 million budget gap. A gap is just the difference between what the city expects to spend and what it expects to bring in. Proposals on the table include reallocating money from the Portland Clean Energy Fund, or PCEF, the voter-approved fund dedicated to climate justice and workforce development, meaning training people for clean energy-related jobs. There were also attempts to move money from the Police Oversight Board to traditional public safety programs. Councilor Candace Avalos pushed back hard on touching PCEF, arguing it should stick to its voter-approved purpose, climate and environmental justice projects. A proposal to divert $10 million from the Oversight Board to the Portland Police Bureau and Portland Fire and Rescue failed on a 6-6 tie. Mayor Keith Wilson's proposed budget made big shifts across departments, and these amendments show a bigger tension. How do you fund immediate public safety needs while honoring what voters already earmarked for climate and oversight?
I totally get why that's so contentious. Diverting climate funds even for urgent needs risks eroding public trust. When voters created PCEF, they set a clear lane for that money. Reallocation might feel like breaking a promise. If we want public buy-in for future measures, we have to show we'll follow through on the ones we already passed. Okay, here we go from the top on elections. Oregon's 2026 primary, key wins, losses, and some ongoing counts. Voters decisively rejected Measure 120, a proposed gas tax. On the governor front, Republican Christine Drazan secured her party's nomination. On the Democratic side, incumbent Governor Tina Kotek saw stronger than expected write-in votes. Write-ins are when you literally write a candidate's name on the ballot instead of selecting from the printed list. Turnout landed around 32.1% statewide by the morning after the election, with Multnomah County at about 25.4%. Some local races remain tight while ballots continue to be counted. Big picture, the results hint at a skeptical mood on new taxes and a Democratic field where some voters look beyond the listed choices. That write-in surge is a real signal flare.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind. When write-ins outperform named challengers, that tells me some voters wanted to register a feeling, even if it wasn't coalescing around one alternative. As for the gas tax going down, that sets the stage for, a tougher transportation funding debate later. If the tax tool is off the table for now, the state has to find other dollars to keep up roads, bridges, and transit. No small task. Let's switch it up and circle back to the oversight story for a deeper look. We've got a clear timeline. Voters approved the new civilian oversight system in 2020. The CBPA held its first meeting this February. On March 11th, Councillor Samir Kanal attended and presented. On March 19th, PPA President Aaron Schmaltz filed that memo alleging interference, and by April 15th, city leaders were meeting with the union to talk through the grievance. Right now, the city's evaluating the complaint and gathering communications records. The stakes are real. The CBPA's independence is core to its mission, acting without undue influence from the police, elected officials, or anyone else who could sway outcomes. The PPA's opposition to this oversight structure isn't new. It's been a running thread since 2020. So the question becomes, where's the line between a councillor being responsive and supportive of a board that reports to the public and a councillor improperly steering it?
Let's unpack this. Public trust hangs on how the city handles the process. If there's a complaint, be transparent. Share the who, what, and why as much as the law allows. If there's no violation, say it plainly. If there is, say how it'll be fixed. People need to see the oversight system standing on its own 2 feet. Otherwise, every early wobble risks becoming a permanent limp. And real talk, why would attendance and a presentation equal interference if the board invited him? I get the sensitivity truly, but it sounds like the intent was logistical support, not directional pressure. That's where a clear, written boundary, what's allowed and what's not, would help everyone. All right, on to the budget again for the bigger picture. Council chambers have basically been a pressure cooker this week. With a $160 million gap, almost every idea stings someone. We saw attempts to shift $10 million from the Police Oversight Board to the Portland Police Bureau and Portland Fire and Rescue, which failed on a 6-6 tie. Other amendments touched public safety, governance, and community programs. Some passed, some didn't. It's a lot to juggle at once. The loudest flashpoint is the Portland Clean Energy Fund, the PCEF. That money was designed for climate justice and workforce development. Think home weatherization, clean energy jobs, and community resilience projects. Diverting it would alter the program's DNA. Supporters say it could delay or shrink planned community investments, while backers of diversion argue the city's immediate needs are urgent. That's the core tension: fiscal triage versus sticking strictly to voter directives.
Here's another angle. If the council can't close that $160 million hole effectively, services suffer: parks, public safety overtime, even basic maintenance. But if they raid voter-approved pots, trust takes a hit and future measures might fail. I'm down for innovative fixes that thread the needle, honor voter mandates, protect core services, and be crystal clear about trade-offs. That feels like the right place to land for now.
That's it for today on Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, reporting from Portland, Oregon.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great day.